In the sun-scorched heart of Yoruba land, surrounded by the dense emerald jungle and the soft whispering of ancestral spirits, lived a princess whose beauty stirred kingdoms, Princess Arinola. Her name meant the one who is cherished by wealth, yet no amount of gold nor honor could win her heart. Kings had come from as far as Nubia, Morocco, and the coasts of Europe. Chiefs who claimed to drink fire and bleed thunder brought caravans of ivory and diamonds to win her favor. Still, she remained unmoved, her eyes cold like the Niger River in flood season. It wasn't arrogance, it was a storm within her, a knowing that something deeper, darker, and more powerful than tradition must stir her spirit before she gave herself to any man. The drums of her village told many tales, some of war, some of passion, but none were more whispered than the tale of Arinola's refusals. It had become a ritual. Every market day, a new suitor would arrive, kneel, present his wealth, and be turned away. Some swore she was cursed, others said she was waiting for a man not of this world, a warrior born of thunder and blood. She was a flame that men could not hold, but flames attract those who are willing to burn. That man came not on a horse, nor with fanfare. He came with quiet footsteps, wrapped in the dust of exile, his body scarred from battles not spoken about. His name was Malik, Hafkas, son of a Maasai mother and a mysterious Arab father, born in a borderless desert where laws bent like the wind. He did not bow when he entered the palace grounds. His eyes, dark like night without stars, met Erin with a challenge rather than admiration. And in that stolen glance, her world cracked. Arinola felt her chest tighten. It wasn't fear, it was something far more dangerous, a longing that awakened in the pit of her belly and spread like oil touched by fire. He was tall, broad, and silent, and his silence roared louder than all the suitors' poems. The king, her father, chuckled when Malik refused to kneel, but he didn't send guards, for he too saw something different in this man. "I do not offer gold," Malik spoke in a voice that rumbled like the earth after rain. "I offer truth, and a body that does not flinch from war pleasure." The court gasped, but Arinola, she smiled for the first time in months. The days after Malik's arrival were filled with tension that clung to the palace walls like jungle mist. He made no grand moves. He stayed close to the warriors, sparred with them, hunted with the elders, and never once approached the princess. That was what broke her defenses. She was used to being chased, begged for, adorned. But Malik treated her like an equal and a challenge. Her dreams began to betray her. In sleep, she saw his muscles ripple under moonlight, saw him reach for her, rough and urgent. She would wake sweating, thighs clenched, heart a wild drum. When the festival of ancestral fire came, a night of wine and masked dances, Arinola danced in red silk that clung to her body like wet skin. Malik watched from the shadows, his jaw clenched, his eyes devouring her silently. She danced like she was calling a spirit. Her hips moved like waves teasing the shore. And still, he did not touch her. After the dance, she found him under the old baobab tree, the tree where her great-grandmother had bound her soul to protect the royal bloodline. She walked to him without fear, heart pounding. "Why do you look at me like a hunter but never strike?" she asked, her voice low. He stepped closer, their faces inches apart. "Because I do not hunt what is already dying to be devoured." Those words undid something inside her. She pressed herself against him, chest to chest, breath mingling with breath. And still, he did not kiss her. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her body ached. Her nipples throbbed with a hunger that no silk or beads could soothe. So she went to him again, in the warriors' quarters. The guards turned their faces, pretending not to see their princess barefoot, wrapped in nothing but a thin white wrap, slipping into the room of a man who came from dust. Inside the room smelled of sweat, herbs, and secrets. Malik stood shirtless, oil glistening on his chest. Her wrap fell before she even reached him. She didn't ask permission. She climbed him like a vine climbs a tree, her mouth finding his, her nails dragging along his back. And then came the part no man had ever reached: her surrender. Her screams that cracked through the walls of the palace. The kind of sound only truth can drag from a woman's throat. She didn't just scream from pleasure. She screamed from the violence of being understood. But this was not just sex, not just lust. It was prophecy. The morning after, she awoke tangled in sheets and destiny. He whispered things into her ear, things that made her shake. "There are men coming to kill your father," he said. "I came here because I was sent." Not to win your love, but to save your kingdom. She blinked, thinking it was still part of the dream. But when he stood and showed her the royal scroll he had stolen from the traitor prince of a neighboring clan, her breath stopped. The scroll revealed a pact, a secret alliance to take down her father's rule, to enslave the people under foreign chains. Arinola wrapped herself in silence. Her heart raced, not with love now, but with fear. Was Malik her lover, or her spy? She remembered his words, "The night before I offered truth." Truth, she now saw, was the sharpest blade. Yet her body still burned for him, even as her father summoned the elders to discuss whispers of rebellion. Even as Malik stood guard with a face that showed nothing of what had happened between them, Arinola found herself trapped, between love and duty, between a body that wanted and a soul that feared betrayal. But Malik knew more. He knew the traitor was not outside the walls, it was inside the palace. A man who had grown up beside Arinola, a man who had once touched her hand under moonlight and dreamed of being king, Prince Ao. The same day Arinola learned this truth, Ao came to her chambers with gifts and false warmth. He said he missed her, that he still loved her, that Malik was poisoned. She smiled politely, but inside she heard Malik's warning echoing like a song sung by ghosts. That night, while the moon bled red, Malik entered her chambers again, not for her body, but for her mind. "There is something else," he said, pacing. "I found the mark of the blood oath on Ao's arm. He is not just a traitor. He has sworn a demonic pact with the death cult of Ikanegbara. If your father dies, Ao will not just become king, he will become something worse." She trembled. "How do you know all this?" He stepped close, took her hand, and placed it on his chest, where a scar shaped like a lion's eye lay. "Because I was once trained by them, and I escaped. But to do so, I had to promise never to love again." She stared at him, her voice cracking. "Then why me?" "Because you made me scream without ever touching me." And then they made love again, this time not with the fire of lust, but with the ache of two souls realizing they were born in the same storm. Her lips kissed every scar. His hands traced every curve like they were memorizing the last page of a holy book. Their cries were not of pain or passion, they were prayers. Violent, honest, desperate. But morning would come, and with it, betrayal. The next day, the king collapsed after a ceremonial drink, poison. His breath slowed, chaos, screams, and Prince Ao rose to speak. "Let the gods choose a new ruler." Malik was arrested. Arinola screamed, but the truth, the real truth, was just beginning to show its teeth.